Hello, happy Halloween, and welcome to an extra spooky video. This video is 25 fun facts about the wilderness. You may know at least some of these, but there's so many facts I can't imagine you'd know every single one already. So the first one is a classic Easter egg. If you use a gold ring on the Volcanic Forge, you get a Lord of the Rings reference. The pub in Ferox Enclave is named the Old Nite Pub, a reference to a beloved high-level player from RS2 who passed away in 2006. There is a ghost you cannot interact with that wanders around the wilderness. It's not clear if the ghost has any kind of purpose, it's probably just there for spooky effect. There are 10 merchants around the wilderness that sell team capes. If you take the first letters of each of their names and order them by the cape numbers they sell, it spells out wilderness. Ferox Enclave has a wide variety of NPCs, and each of them follow different religions, which is made clear by the different aesthetics of various buildings. The NPCs in Ferox are pretty interesting themselves too. Ferox, the founder of the Enclave, is an ex-Zamarakian acolyte and is very interested in the history of the wilderness. His name means wild or untamed in Latin. Andros Mai is a Saradomin warrior here to hunt down the Zamarakian skeleton warrior Fedion. His name is an anagram of Saradomin. Venenatis is a bowman from Corinth, here to avenge his father by killing Callisto. Venenatis means hunter in Latin, and his examen text reads, said to have gone toe-to-toe with Callisto with just his bare hands. Fabel Bile is a scientist and mage who traveled the wilderness to learn about Venenatis and get a sample of her venom. Her name is a reference to Fabius Bile from the game Warhammer 40,000. Sigismund says he wants to protect travelers from monsters, both animal and humankind. In the wilderness area of the Edgeville dungeon next to the Chaos Druids, you can see several inaccessible fishing spots. In the Dark Warriors Fortress, there are shields on the wall that are Zamorak colors but have the Saradomin symbol. The Revenant Maledictus has examen text referencing Lord of the Rings, and the name Maledictus is a Latin word meaning accursed one. The Revenant Knight uses player animations for healing, ancient magic, dart throwing, and the death animation. The Revenant Dragon is the only dragon not weak to Dragonbane weapons, but is weak to crush attacks instead of stab. In the northern part of the Ice Plateau, if you turn your camera the right way or use the detached camera plugin on RuneLite, you can see a large inaccessible fortress to the west. In RS3, this is the abandoned Zarosian fortress, Gorak, which is probably why the Gorak teleport takes you here. I've always wondered what the hexagonal blocks north of the Rogue's Castle are for, and now I have the answer. Nothing, they're basically just there for atmosphere. But they do resemble the basalt formations in the Giant's Causeway in Northern Ireland, which were formed by volcanic activity. Despite Callisto in traditional mythology being female, the in-game boss is referred to with male pronouns. Also, Callisto is modeled after the Arctic bear summoning familiar in RS3, and his examen text is a Goldilocks reference. South of Callisto is a pile of bear droppings with the examen text, now you know, which answers the question, does a bear shit in the woods? The Chaos Fanatic has a few lines that are references. I shall call him Squidgy and he shall be my Squidgy is a reference to Finding Nemo. All your wilderness are belong to them is a reference to the game Zero Wing. Devilish Oxen Roll is a anagram of Lord Helix Lives On, which is a reference to Twitch Plays Pokemon. When fighting the King Black Dragon without Dragonfire protection, you get unique messages in your chat box depending on what attack he uses on you. For freezing, it says, you're chilled to the bone by the dragon's icy breath. For poison, it says, you're badly scalded by the dragon's toxic breath. For shocking, it says, you're zapped by the dragon's shocking breath. And with regular fire, it says, you're horribly burnt by the dragon's fiery breath. The name Venenatis is a Latin word that means venomous or poisoned. If you attack Venenatis in single-way combat, you can only do up to 8 damage regardless of your weapon. However, she has to be in multi-combat for you to deal full damage. You could be in single-way though. The pet spiderling has dialogue referencing an episode of Family Guy. Fedion's examine text is a Lord of the Rings reference, and his name is an anagram of Novite from RS3. Novite armor is the same purple color as Fedion's normal form. The Fedion pet has dialogue referencing the Ghost Army in Lord of the Rings. Also, this pet is the second least common pet in old school RuneScape, only after the Inferno pet. During the mini-quest Curse of the Empty Lord, if you talk to any of the ghosts without a Ghost Speak amulet, your player might say, "All your base are belong to us." When talking to Renard, your character says, "I ain't scared of no ghost," which is a Ghostbusters reference. Dalek asks you if you are the mighty sorcerer that binds him, and if you have 99 magic, your character will brag about it. The reason the Bandit store buys items for a higher price than other stores is because the tax collector doesn't want to go into the wilderness. The examine text of Viggora's Chainmace is an ancient chainmace with a peculiar mechanism that allows for varying attack styles, but it only uses the standard mace attack styles, so that's a complete lie. When using the Mage Arena 2 capes on another item, instead of "nothing interesting happens," you sometimes get the message "that doesn't seem to do what you want it to do." If you try to store the looting bag within itself, you get a funny message in your chat box. You may be surprised to learn that bagception is not permitted. Last but not least, fact number 25 is that